Just painted my nails to look cute and quirky. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. It's normal. It's fine. Georgia, it's fine. You just gained 45,000 subscribers in a matter of a week. It's fine. You're totally fine. It's just the same. You guys really in there? Sup? Hello, beautiful people. My name is Georgia.bridge and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I'd like to start off this video by saying, holy shit! About a week ago, exactly a week ago, I posted a video with my mom of her we're sitting down here and she was asking me questions about my bisexuality. It has over 500,000 views and I gained 45,000 subscribers in a week. So I'm kind of nervous because the last time I made a video, I had about 6,000 subscribers. This is so crazy. This is something I have always dreamed of. I'm so unbelievably happy that my video could help multiple people. Even if it just helped one person, I would have been happy with that. But this is literally insane. And I'm so excited and happy to finally be outwardly a part of the LGBTQIA+ community. I'm just really happy, okay. So today I'm going to be telling you guys about my experience being in a sorority and being bisexual. Total disclaimer, I know that Shannon Beveridge kind of birthed this video. She has a video called Being Gay in a Sorority, and it's funny actually, I watched that video before I came out to my sorority sisters. She showed up on my recommended and I was like, huh, I know that feeling. So I watched it, and now that I am out, I wanted to share my experience with being bisexual in a sorority, so don't come after me for plagiarism, okay? And here's the kicker. I'm also the president of my sorority. I always feel like such an asshole when I say that. The president. So let's start off, first of all, defining what a sorority is. A sorority is a social group in college where a bunch of women go through a process called recruitment, and it's a group where you essentially find your best friends, as cliche as that sounds. So it's called a social group because you do social activities together, but it's so much deeper than that. You're an organization, you have a philanthropy, so you raise money and donate it. You have fundraisers where you also raise money. We have so many programs and events that we have put on in the Greek community. It's such a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I highly recommend that absolutely everyone who goes to college at least go through the recruitment process. Greek life is ridiculously amazing. So anyway, I am in Theta Phi Alpha at the University of Cincinnati. What was I gonna say? I've known that I've wanted to go into a sorority ever since the 4th grade, so it literally was just kind of like me going to college. I knew I was going to join a sorority. Just about my entire family has been Greek life. So this is so crazy. I've always wanted to say this. I tweeted on Twitter and posted on my Instagram story asking you guys to tell me questions that you have about being bisexual in a sorority, and I actually got responses, which was dope as So I've collected what I think is a good variety of questions from, I guess, my subscribers, and I'm gonna answer them for you all. So hopefully this video can shed some light onto what it's like when you're liking girls and surrounded by girls 24/7 and being in a sorority. So let's start that. First, let me tell the story of how I came out in my sorority, haha, because that's kind of one of the questions, but it's a better precursor. So I figured out that I was bisexual my first year of college in December. So I didn't know that I was bisexual when I went through sorority recruitment. I never went into recruitment with kind of that overlying feeling of what's it gonna be like? I infiltrated from within, So I got in the sorority and then I came out. Essentially the very, very, very first time that I had ever mentioned anything to anyone, we were at a sorority retreat. We did this activity called Cross the Line, and it's a great bonding experience. I would highly recommend it if anyone out there is trying to put together a retreat or some kind of bonding activity. Do Cross the Line. You all stand in a big circle. Someone reads a statement like, cross the line if you're from Ohio. Then you would step forward if you're from Ohio, and you step back. And it's just essentially to see deeper connections you can have with your sisters. Ohio was a dumb example. That was just whatever. They're deeper questions. So the very first time that I was like, you know what? I'm just feeling confident today. The president at the time read, "Cross the line if you have ever questioned your sexuality." Now keep in mind, my sorority has about 130, 140 girls, and the retreat was mandatory, so we were all there except for like a slim few. So the president read, "Cross the line if you have ever questioned your sexuality." And at that point I was like, well, yeah, I've questioned my sexuality. So I crossed the line. And I was the only person in the entire room to have crossed that imaginary line. You could say I just about peed my pants after that one, because I was very nervous. I was a freshman, you know, I didn't know everyone yet, and I was like, here we go. I look around, I'm like, oh, and then I just kind of like went back really quickly. But that was the first time that I like really put it out there. From there, my closest friends kind of reached out to me about it. I started getting more comfortable telling people. Now let's get to the questions, which will show more of how I've transitioned from that as a freshman, now going into my junior year of college. Has anyone judged you for being bi in a sorority? Not to my face. I've literally never heard anyone. I've been so lucky. I have had an unbelievable amount of love from my sisters and from other people, other girls in different sororities and other men in different fraternities. I have not heard a single homophobic comment about anything. And it's the most wonderful feeling in the world, quite frankly. I'm so lucky that I don't have to deal with that. But I don't take people's bullshit. So if I were to have to deal with that, I would just call them out on their BS and my entire sorority would have my back. I know that. Tips for coming out to best friends you don't think will accept you. I was actually really scared about this when I first came out to my sorority because my best friends are in my sorority. My main scares were that I didn't want my sorority sisters to think of me differently. I didn't want them to think, I'm a very touchy-feely person, so I didn't want them to think that like I was hitting on them if I like was hugging them or like, you know, a quick little smack on the butt, one of those things. I don't know. I was just like, it took me a while, you know? It's not an overnight thing. I didn't realize I liked girls, start telling everyone the next day, and then be out to the entire whole ass world later on that day. It took me 2 years. So I was very selective, and like when I was ready to tell someone, I was ready to tell someone. So I told that person. But yeah, I just always remembered that my happiness was more important, and that if a friend didn't accept me, then they weren't my friend. A friend loves you no matter what. So if you're in my life and you call me your friend but you don't accept my bisexuality, like delete my number. That's all I have to say. Are there other members of the LGBTQ plus community in your sorority? Yeah, there's one other girl who's bi in my sorority. She's super awesome. We're close friends, love her to death. And I know of some other girls in different sororities at UC who are either lesbian or bisexual, and I have never heard of anyone being mean or homophobic or horrible. It was so played up in my mind to now being out, realizing that like no one cares. Not in a bad way, but like no one cares enough to try and put you down. That's what I've experienced at the University of Cincinnati. So, whew, shout out. Go Greek. Have you had to deal with confronting any unintentional homophobia? And does anyone get weird around you when it comes to changing/getting ready? Before I came out, you know, even though we are an 18, we still have some people who think it's cool to use the word gay in a negative connotation. I would hear some sisters completely not maliciously say something like, oh, that's so gay, before I was out. So I was just kind of like suffering in silence. I'm not a very silent person at all. So it was hard for me to just kind of sit there and be like, so when I came out, blessing in disguise, because I'll hear someone say something, I'll be like, hey, cut that out. And they'll be like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry, you know? And it'll be like a joke. I'm like, no, it's totally fine. But like, maybe you could say like a different word next time. You know, I would never actually give someone serious shit for it, but I feel like it's easier now since they know that I like girls. They'll be like, oh, like that's pretty messed up. Like I don't go around saying like, oh my God, that's so straight when I see something that I don't like. Maybe I should. And the changing thing. This is something that I was so nervous about when I came out because I didn't want my sisters to feel uncomfortable around me. Yes, I like girls. No, I'm not uncomfortable when a girl changes around me. I'm not gonna be like this. Boobie. And I don't want my sisters to feel uncomfortable when I change around them. I've been so lucky. None of my closest friends or sisters have felt uncomfortable at all. Kind of a win-win. Oh, I'm kidding, you know? Whatever. Titty here, titty there. Who said that? Do you ever feel like you have to be careful not to look like you're flirting with the other girls? So I feel like my sorority sisters know me well enough. Like I'm kind of goofy, I like to think. I don't think I've ever had to deal with that. I've never flirted with one of my sorority sisters. I don't think so. Well, there was that one time. No, I'm not careful about it because I'm not flirting with my sorority sisters. I'm just having fun, and if they think that I'm flirting with them, I'll probably just give them a quick look. What was the reaction you got when you came out? Also, did you have like a rule for yourself when it comes to possibly dating people in your sorority? So the reaction, again, nothing but love. It's been ridiculous. When I've told my sorority sisters like, oh yay, like I'm so happy for you. Like, oh dope, like I didn't know that. Awesome, like you live your life, girl. And I'm like, I love you all so much. I wanna give you my love forever. I don't have a rule, you know? I don't wanna put myself in constraints. I can tell you at this point in my life, I would not date any of my sorority sisters because they're all straight, pretty much, or they're not out, or I'm just friends with everyone, and yeah, no. But hey, whatever happens, happens. Did they change their attitude towards you after you came out? I think the only attitude that changed was mine, because I finally was able to tell my best friends about my girl crushes and not have to sit there and be like, oh my god, he's so cute, when my friends were talking about other guys. And well, while of course, like I always listen to my friends regardless of who they're talking to, it was just a really nice change because I just wanted advice as well. Do you feel comfortable talking about both girl and boy crushes with them? Absolutely yes, and they give me genuine advice even though not a single one of them has ever dated a girl before. It is really, really awesome to have friends like that. I love my sorority. And that's all for this week. Again, you guys, I literally cannot thank you enough for subscribing to me. Honestly, at this point, I really should just be thanking my mother. I was so obviously uncomfortable in that video, and she totally carried the show. And I love her so much, and I'm so lucky to have such a wonderful role model, a mother in my life, who accepts me for who I am. Love you, Mom, if you see this, which I hope you do. Next week, I will be recording a video with my sister, who's a lesbian. Like, what were they feeding us when we were little, you know? We both end up liking girls. So yeah, go ahead and leave questions down below as to what kind of things you want to know about us. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Snapchat. Let's connect and be friends. Love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Always be your best self. Okay, bye.